Hello and welcome back to another Flutter tutorial. In this video, we will see how to theme your app in Flutter, save the theme and reload using BLoC and Shared Preferences. In the previous video, I had given a basic introduction about how to start with block patterns for state management with a real-world example. I'll be providing the link to the source code and link to the video in the description. Now let's see how we can theme your app easily. I'm going to continue with where we left off in the previous video and give a quick walkthrough of it. So let's start. This was the demo application that we created in the previous video. So let's go to the project structure. Inside the API, we have the exceptions and the services. So in the services, we are fetching a list of albums from JSON placeholder.typicode.com/albums. This is our model class for the album list, and we have a UI which lists the albums, and this is a service that I already mentioned. We are getting the albums and we are parsing using the model class. So we have these many list of exceptions. So no internet exception, no service found, invalid format, and unknown exception. Now let's go to the BLoC folder where we have the event state and the BLoC file. So these are the events. We have only one event here, which is the fetch album, which is triggered by the user. And we have these many set of states, which is a initial state, loading state, and a list error state, which extends equatable. So equatable helps to compare two objects. So basically what BLoC does is it will accept a event and a state, and it will return a new state which can be used to update the UI. These are the plugins that we use in this demo, which is a Flutter BLoC, equatable, HTTP, and the shared preferences. Now let's go to the BLoC file. So this is from the previous video where we had the albums block, which extends a block, and it will have the event and a state, and when we trigger a event, it's going to return a new state. So here it will return a albums loading state first, and it will not terminate there. It will continue to get the albums, and if it is a success, it's going to return the albums loaded state. Otherwise it will return a error state. All right, so that's the basic thing about blocks. So these are the widgets that we are using inside the app. Now if we go to the main screen, which is the album screen, we have a title, albums, and a body, which will be wrapped inside a block builder of type albums block, and it will return the new state. If it is success, we'll show the list of albums. Otherwise we'll be showing some error, or if it is a loading state, we'll be showing a loading widget. Okay, so that's the list row which will display the list of albums. Now here comes the main part where we need to wrap the class which needs to listen to the block changes with the block provider. So here we need to wrap the album screen with the block provider, and we need to return the albums block with the albums repo parameter that will fetch the list of albums, which is going to trigger the albums block. And when the state changes, it's going to trigger the block builder in the album screen. So let's see how we fired the event. So load albums. So this is how we fired the fetch albums event. And when the state is returned, it's going to fire the block builder widget here, and that will show the appropriate list. So that's all about what we did in the previous video. So we are going to do the same thing here with theming. We are going to use the BLoC for theming, and we'll be reloading the theme using shared preferences. So let's create a new folder, settings, and I'm going to create a new file, app themes, where we are going to define two themes. One is a dark theme and another one is a light theme. So static final app theme data is equal to, that's an object, and it will have two keys. So let's define an app theme enum, which will be light theme and dark theme. So first one, app theme dot light theme. So that's a key that's going to have a new theme data. So you know that. So this is how we set the theme in our Flutter application. So each theme is a set of, it's a theme data object. So we need to create theme data. So here when I set it to green, you can see that the title bar is changed to green color. So similarly, we are going to define a set of colors here for the light theme, and we will be doing the same thing for the dark theme, but with a different set of colors which will be appropriate for a dark theme. All right, so let's define some colors. Primary as background color, text theme. So inside the text theme, I'm going to set the body text one, which is a text style with a background, or let's say colors dot black. Since it is a light theme, so we'll be using this text theme later. And similarly, we are going to define the dark theme, and it will have a scaffold background color as black and primary color teal, background color as black, and the text theme. So for dark theme, let's set the text color to white. All right, now let's go to our screen, which is the album screen, and I'm going to add a switch in the up bar to toggle between the dark and light themes. You can have as many themes you want. You can define more themes. For simplicity, I'm just keeping it as a dark and a light theme. So when the switch value is changed, we're going to call a new method, set theme. Let's define the set theme method, which is going to accept the Boolean value from the switch. So let's define it as dark theme. So if it is true, that means the dark theme. So let's define the variable app theme, and let's name it current theme. And if the Boolean is true, let's say if it is dark theme, we will set the theme to light theme, otherwise it's a dark theme. So let's save it here. We will be coming back to this code later. Now let's go ahead and create the block files for our theme functionality like we did in the albums list. Let's create a new folder. I'm going to name it themes inside the block folder, and it's going to have the three files, block, events, and state. So let's create the theme block.dart, and the second one is the theme event. So let's create a new file, theme events.dart, and third one is the state. So create a new file, theme underscore state.dart. So the state will have the theme data. So this is what we set when we change the theme. That will be received by the UI. Now let's write the theme event. So we will have only one event. Let's name it as theme event. And this theme event is going to accept the app theme in the constructor. So the user will be triggering a new theme from the UI every time. So in this demo, when the user toggles the switch in the UI, we'll be triggering event based on the true and false values. Okay, now let's write the theme block, which extends the block, and it's going to accept the theme event and state, and it will return a new state. So it's similar to what we did with the albums block. So let's override the method map event to state. That will return the new state to the UI. So let's write the constructor and call super. Here we need to send the initial state, which is the theme state here with the theme data. So let's send the default theme as the initial state as light theme to the superclass. And now we need to implement the map event to state. So whenever a new event is triggered, so a new theme event, so make sure you make this method an async star method so that you can return the events continuously with the yield new theme state, and we will get the new theme from the event. So event.app theme. So this event will be triggered from the UI. We'll be seeing it in a short while, but before that we need to add the BLoC provider into the root of our application so that the new theme will be propagated across all the widgets in the widget tree. All right, so let's return a BLoC provider, and in the create we need to return the theme block just like we did with the albums block. And here we need to have the child with a block builder, and block builder is going to have the theme block and the theme state, and this is going to have the builder method, the builder property, which will have the context and the new state. So that is the theme state. And now we need to return our root widget, which is the material app, from the builder method. Now let's go to the album screen, and this is where we need to trigger the theme change event. So let me declare the variable as a local variable, and in our switch I'm setting it as it becomes true when it is a light theme. You can do the other way as well, but you need to change the logic inside the set theme method here. Okay, now we need to call context.block, and here we need to have the theme block and call add event, where the event is our theme event, and we need to pass in the new theme here. Now let's refresh the app, toggle the switch button. So nothing is changed in the UI. So let's try setting the background color of the app bar to our theme dot background color. Okay, something has been changed, but by toggling nothing is changed in the UI. So let's go to our main.art file. So here we had set the theme as green primary color. So something is going wrong. So let me rename the variable to theme state and change the theme to theme state dot theme data. So that's our theme. So you can see that it's changed to the black theme, and when we toggle it, it is changing back to the light theme. So you can see the text was in black color when we switched to the dark theme, right? But we want it in white color and vice versa. So let's create a new widget. So we are going to use this widget throughout the app. I'm going to name it txt, and it's going to accept a text which is a string, and in the constructor I'm setting it by default it's empty, and in the build method I'm going to return a container. You can just return your text if you want, but if you want to set some padding or margin to this text, it would be easy if you return a container, your text wrapped the container or a padding. Okay, and here I'm going to set a style which will have a font size of 20, and the color, we're going to get the color from our current theme. So to get the current theme, we can use theme.offContext. That will get us the current theme, and dot let's use text theme dot you can use any of those. So this is what we defined already in our theme. So body text1 dot color. Okay, and then I'm going to my list row and I'm going to change the text widget to our widget. Reload the app. So if you switch the theme, you can see that it's getting us a proper text theme, right? So these are the colors that we set in our theme, in our light and dark themes. Okay, so that is working good. So you can extend this to wherever you want. So that's our title. Okay, title changing to white when we go to the dark theme. Okay, so if you want, you can add more colors to apply it on more widgets, and you can use it throughout your app if you want. So the drawback of this approach is actually we are not saving the theme, right? So if we switch to dark theme and if we reload the app, we are not actually retaining the saved theme. So let's save the theme in our shared preferences. So we have added the shared preference plugin in the initial part of the video, if you remember. So I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to say preferences, and I'm going to get the instance of the shared preferences, and I'm going to save the theme with a key selected theme. So declare a variable for that, create a method in it, and I'm going to initialize the preferences variable that we just created. So await shared preferences dot get instance will get you the preferences instance, and I'm going to write two methods. One is save theme and another one is get theme. So save theme will save the current theme, which is our app theme, to our preferences, and get theme will return that preferences. Okay, the saved current theme. So the first thing I'm going to do is to check if the selected theme, if it is null, I'm going to set it to the light theme by default. It may not happen, but still, and I'm going to declare a new variable theme is equal to, I'm going to encode the app theme. That's how we can only save it as a string or an integer or those kind of primitive values. So I'm going to set the string by encoding it to a JSON and then saving it in preferences. So when we get back, I'm going to call get string with the key. That will get us a string, and if it has returned null, that is when you actually load the app for the first time, right? At that moment, we are going to return the light theme, and we need to decode the string back to the app theme, right? So for that, I'm going to write a new method, get theme from string, and pass in the string that we got from the preferences, and I'm going to loop through the list of themes we have and check if theme dot to string is equal to the saved string, then return that theme. Okay, otherwise return null, or you can just return app theme dot light theme, which is our default theme there. And you need to call the get theme from string and pass in the string from the preferences to get the theme. Now let's go to our main.dart file and initialize the preferences. So I'm going to make the main method async and call widgets Flutter bindings dot ensure initialized, so that the widgets binding will be initialized before we call run app, and we're going to call await preferences dot init. That will initialize our preferences instance. Now let's go back to our main screen, which is the album screen, and we are going to load the theme from our preferences. So let's delete the local variable and create a new method, load theme, and we need to call context dot, let's copy it from here. So context block and add event with the theme from our preferences. So the block will be initialized with the saved theme. And in the setTheme method, I'm going to declare a new variable, and when we get the new theme, when the user switches, we are going to save that theme in the preferences by calling the method saveTheme. Let's rename this variable to selected theme and use it. Okay, so that makes sense. All right, so we are saving the theme to our preferences, and we are going to get the theme, and if it is light theme, the switch will be enabled, but I think there is some issue. We will find it out. So here everything looks good. Let's try again. All right, okay, it's not working. So we may have done something when we saved the theme. So let's go to save theme. Set theme looks good. Okay, so nothing wrong there. So let's go to the preferences, and you can see, so here we saved using JSON encode, but when we got back the data from our preferences, the string from the preferences, we didn't decode it to a JSON. Okay, so let's refresh the app. So now it's working good. So it's going to retain the theme, whatever we saved, if we reload the app or if you kill the app and come back. All right, so our saving and reloading the theme from the preferences are okay now. Let's see what we have done so far. So we are getting the theme when the user selects and converting it to, we are using JSON encode to convert it to a JSON string, saving it in preferences, and when we are going to get back the data, we are decoding the theme. So that's how we saved, and we are going to decode the string, and we are going to loop through the themes list we have, and we are going to find the proper theme and return that theme. So you can see it's a light theme. So when it matches, it's going to return the theme, and we will reapply the theme using BLoC. So if I switch back, you can see the theme string is now the dark theme, and the theme is the light theme. So it's not going to match now. So it goes back. So dark theme, now it's going to match. Okay, and it's going to return the theme, which is the dark theme. So that's how it's working now. You can implement it any way you want. The main thing is you need to get the theme back to the BLoC so that it can reload it to the UI. Okay, so if you want, you can make this method asynchronous so that the UI will be smooth. So I have a typo in here. Let me fix that. Okay, and I'm gonna reload the app. So let's go through what we have done so far. For that, let's go to the theme block first. So as I have said in the previous video and this video, so in the load theme, we are actually setting the theme block by firing an event with a new theme, correct? So if you go to the theme block, you can see that it accepts an event and a state, and it's going to return a new state, which is our new theme, right? So this is how we initialize the theme block. So while initializing, you need to send a the initial state. Okay, so here our light theme is the initial state, and if an event occurs, we are going to get the theme from the event, which is the user set theme. When the user toggles our switch, that's the event that's coming from here. So when we get that, we are actually setting the block with a new theme, and that's going to fire the block builder, right? And that's going to reload the app. So here we are getting the theme and we are setting the switch. Okay, so when the user selects, this is the theme that is going to the BLoC. So light theme or dark theme based on the value from the switch. And then we are adding the theme event. So that will fire the event inside the BLoC. And we are wrapping the whole app with a theme block. So this is the important part that you need to do. Whichever classes that want to listen to this theme change or whatever block you are doing, you need to wrap the that particular class with a proper provider. And inside, so here we are seeing the theme in preferences, and when you change the theme and you initialize the block with a new event and a state, it's going to fire the block builder, whichever wherever you have provided that block builder with the theme state and event and state, that's going to fire. So here in this demo, we are having the block builder in the root of our application. So it's going to rebuild the whole widget tree. So that's why the theme is propagated throughout the app. Okay, so that's how it works. So hope this video is clear. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to that as soon as possible. And so that's all in this video. I recommend watching the first part of this video tutorial. I'll be providing the link to it in the description. So please subscribe, like and share. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.